Audience, please. No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. BradyQuotes.com is a site that compiles all kinds of quotes from famous people, and that particular quote is from Robin Williams. Now, if you've seen any Disney movie, you've at least heard of Robin Williams. He hasn't partaken in all of them, but one of the most famous ones, Aladdin, is one of his most known works. From humble beginnings when he was just doing stand-up comedy in San Francisco and Los Angeles, to where he ended up before he died, too soon in a lot of people's opinions, he inspired and touched so many lives. And now, for the sake of structure, there are three main reasons why I think we should never let Robin Williams' memory die. First one being, he inspired so many people. He made us laugh, he made us cry. He was weird, and that's what a lot of people remember about him. Secondly, he touched so many lives more than just his screen work with his foundations, his benefits, and all his charity work that he did. And thirdly, no matter what happened in his career, no matter how famous he got, no matter how much money he made, he always remained humble. Now, as I said, first point, Robin Williams was a genius. He inspired so many people with how well he did his characters. I imagine almost anybody that you ask can look back and think of a Robin Williams character that they fell in love with or were inspired by, whether it be Genie from Aladdin, or Pan from Peter Pan, or that professor from Flubber that I can't never remember his name. He inspired so many people, from characters from little kids movies or kids movies to adult movies like Professor Keating from Dead Poets Society. Now, like I said, it's not just his screen work though. And my second point says, so much more happened than just his screen work. According to biography.com, which is a site that just does brief biographies of famous people, according to that site, one of his most famous off-screen works was the foundation that he founded called Comic Relief USA, which is an annual show that was held on HBO just purely for the sake of charity. Everything that show made went to charity. That was founded in 1986 by himself, Whoopi Goldberg, and Billy Crystal. Those three comics came together, wanted to do some charity work, and since it was created in 86 to when Robin died, it created over $80 million for people that were homeless, didn't have means to get around, food, clothes, any of that. And now that might not seem like a whole lot given all the other foundations out there, but considering this was just three comics that came together and wanted to do something with their fame, I think it's pretty good. Now, Robin also did other charitable things, like for instance, he spoke out about things such as literacy, women's rights, and he was a very big advocate for veterans. He always spoke up because he always felt that he wanted his voice to be heard, because some people, they either don't have a voice, or their voice is too quiet because they might be too timid, or they just aren't listened to. So he wanted to use his fame to make sure that those people were heard. Now, his wife actually did an interview for New York Times after he passed, and she said that the reason why Robin was so charitable and why he did all these things that he did off screen was because of the fact that he knew that he was blessed. He had a very wealthy family when he was growing up. So as he was, a child, a teenager, whatever, he always had what he needed, what he wanted, that kind of thing. And as his fame grew, he wanted to make sure that he could give back to the community, to his fans, to people that hated him. He didn't care. He just wanted to help people with the fame and the fortune that he had made. Now, the third point, and in my opinion probably the most important, is he always remained humble. No matter how big his name got, no matter how much money he made, he always made sure that he wasn't the center of attention for too long. Yeah, sure, he had big movies and he had big moments, but he always made sure that he was only in the spotlight as long as he needed to be. Every actor's got to have that time in the spotlight because they got to get their name out there, promotions, all that kind of stuff. But Robin always made sure that the little people, as we know them, got their recognition too. Producers, writers, directors, co-stars, people on set that helped in his live things like Mork and Mindy, his first ever TV show. That he always made sure that people had their recognition and it wasn't just about him. Now, just kind of as a recap, my three main points, the three biggest reasons why I think Robin should never be allowed to be forgotten, is that one, he touched so many lives with all his characters, all the passion he put into those characters, all of the effort and just everything he gave to every single performance that he made. He gave it everything he had, no matter what the role was, no matter who the character was, he gave it his all, every time. Second, all his charity work, all his foundations, his benefits and everything, touched more lives than just his screen work. He helped so many people around the world just with that stuff. Just because he could, because he was famous, because, he wanted to give back. And thirdly, which I think is actually kind of rare nowadays, he always remained humble, or at the very least he tried to. And now, I will leave you with this. The freshest memory that we have about Robin is how he left us. He lost his fight with alcoholism and depression. But as the saying goes, it's not about the destination, but the journey. I want him to be remembered, and if you take anything from this speech, I want you to remember Robin, not for how his story ended, but his story, everything that he did, the people that he helped, the inspiration that people felt when they watched his movies or heard him give an interview. Just remember him for his life, not for how it ended. Thank you.